Good day everyone, this is Sir Christopher from Buenaventura Alandi National High School, SDO Tayaba City. I will be with you today to learn and discover new things. Are you ready? Let's go! At the end of this video, you will learn to discuss the 5 essentials of welding and identify the international welding codes and standards of welding. Welding is not only about tacking and attaching pieces of metals. It also needs skills and practice to have a good weld product. There are things that we have to consider in order to have a quality weld product. These are current setting, length of arc, angle of electrode, speed of travel, and selection of electrode. For an easy way in remembering these 5 essential variables is by remembering the first letter in each one and spell the word class. Let's discuss this one by one. Current setting is essential to producing welds with good appearance and required strength characteristics. The welder controls the amperage variable by setting the amperage of the welding machine prior to welding. Alternating current, straight polarity, and reverse polarity are the 3 types of current. The amperage range is set by the welder to the correct amperage before welding on the actual piece by doing practice welds on a piece of scrap metal. Remember, condition may change. For example, if you are welding multiple passes in a vertical position and using a weave technique, you may need to increase the amperage when weaving over a prior weld bead. You may want to use higher setting for welding flat and horizontal than for welding in other positions. One welder may prefer to use a slightly higher setting and travel faster than you, so set the amperage for your technique. Next is length of arc or arc length. Arc length is the distance from the tip of the electrode to the base metal. The arc length should typically be approximate the diameter of the electrode. Another consideration is electrode angle. It affects the weld bead shape, particularly in fillet and deep groove welds. The electrode angle is determined by the travel angle and work angle. Next is travel speed. If the travel speed is too fast, the weld pool does not last long enough and impurities are locked in the weld. The resulting bead is narrow with pointed ripples. If the travel speed is too slow, the metals and the beads are high and wide with straight ripples. And if the travel speed is correct, it produces a small weld bead with evenly spaced ripples. Last is selection of electrode. Electrode selection must take into account the position of the weld, the properties of the base metal, the diameter of the electrode, the type of the joint, and the current. Different electrodes are manufactured to meet various welding requirements. Some factors to be considered in the selection of electrodes are types of metals, thickness of metal, and tasks to do. For learning task number 1, essential match. You just have to match the pictures to its equivalent to the essentials of welding. The second part of the learning task 1 is identification. You have to identify what is being described on the following statements. Choose your answer from column A of the activity. Do this on your answer sheet. Let's discuss the International Welding Codes and Standards. We have American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME, American Welding Society, AWS, American Petroleum Institute, API, Canadian Standards Association, CSA, British Standards, BS, International Organization for Standardization, ISO. Moving forward, do the learning task 2. What's my standard? It's simple. Just identify what international welding codes and standards are being described on the following items. Choose your answer from the pool of standards and write your answer on your answer sheet. Now, you will be doing learning task 3. Checklist making. On a short bond paper, make a checklist of the following. Follow this format in creating your checklists. The next learning task is standard classification. You just have to classify the welding codes and standards to where they belong. Choose the letter of your answer from the international welding codes and standards given in the module. Are you done? How was the activity? Now, let us move to the learning task number 5. The following are the step-by-step procedure in performing multi-pass weld in flat position. Identify which welding essentials corresponds to the given procedure. Write the number of the correct procedure on the second column. Use the given template in answering this activity. Lastly, perform learning task 6. Essential application. You just have to analyze the following situations. Identify the welding essentials needed on each situation and give the possible solution to each problem. Your answer for possible solutions will be scored according to the rubric that follows. Your next task is assessment. In the first part, you just have to write true if the statement is correct. If not, write false. The second part is multiple choice. Last task for assessment is matching type.
Hi, I'm Veronica, grade 10 student of Benaventura Alandi National High School.
For the first situation, the welding essential is length of arc. Mr. Nico should maintain the correct length of arc while doing the welding process. For the second situation, the welding essential is current setting. Mr. Evangelista should set the correct current setting to avoid having the weld bead wide and flat with excessive spatter and undercut. Lastly, for the success of your weld product, always remember the class: current setting, length of arc, angle of electrode, speed of travel, and selection of electrode.
I hope you had fun learning today. You may refer to your module for the other activity. This is all for today. This has been Sir Christopher, and see you all again for the next lesson. Keep safe, everyone!
Audio Jungle.